very prominent acharyas in our parampara. So this Dashavatara Stotra, it describes about all the different avatars of Krishna, and with every line there is this one, the meditation on Krishna is also there. So how Krishna is taking different avatars, just to rescue us, just to give us his association. So it's very nicely explained in this bhajan. All of you would have got this link.
Yeah, send the shloka in your WhatsApp group. You can open it.
All of you are open. So we will start now. Palapayoti chare dhritavanasi vedam. Palapayoti Last line I'll repeat 2 times. Both the things. After that you should start. So now you should be singing. Keshavadrita Meena Sharira, Keshavadrita Meena Sharira, Jai Jagadish Jai Jagadish So there is a summary shloka is there, which is mentioned as Vedan Uddharate Jahanti Vahate Duvolam Vibrate Taitam Dharayate Balim Chalayate Shatrak Shayam Kurvate Paulatsam Jayate Halayate Karunya Matanvate Mlechan Murchayate Dashakriti Krite Krishnaya Tupyam Namaha. So this is especially today's this one about Lord Rama. Now we will read the translation about him. Seventh one. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroyed the 10-headed Ravana and distributed his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them who were much harassed by this monster. So, we will offer our respectfulness to Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavani Acharya Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So we will see Lord Ram's pastime in brief, many different aspects, and then few lessons that we can actually learn from Lord's pastimes. So we can actually see that. So Srimad Bhagavatam summarizes the whole of Ramayana, in just in 2-3 chapters. So in that, most of the Ramayana is there in the first half chapter of this one, and actually Ramayana is quite a vast and quite amazing literature. So it is fully compressed and given in a very small snippet. So as we discuss, we will get to detail of certain aspects, and then we will also see some lessons, what we can actually learn from the Ramayana. So now we see that what is the position of Ramayana, and also like how to approach, whenever we approach these transcendental subjects, how to approach. So in the what is that? In the progression of understanding of the spiritual subjects, so the Leela of the Lord is considered to be the PhD subject. It's considered to be the topmost of all the subjects that we can actually learn. So why it is considered to be the PhD, or why it's considered to be the topmost? So the Leela of the Lord is the easiest thing that people can actually know, connect with, right? So philosophy is considered to be the basic thing, and Leela is considered to be the PhD. And, so why it is so? Like philosophy, not many people understand. Leela, anybody can hear, no? So why this is reverse? You know?
Because we are not so intelligent to understand.
So Leela of the Lord is so amazing that it can cater to the new people also, and it is the highest form of meditation for the Paramahamsas, for the perfected persons, right? So once we understand the philosophy properly, so then the Leela, the relishment of Leela becomes much more stronger, much more deeper. So otherwise, there is so much of misconceptions are there. If the philosophy is not clear, so then we consider Lord Ram or Lord Krishna to be somebody like us, maybe more powerful than us or something like that. So the conception of God, okay, even if we have the conception of God, so when we see in the Ramayana, like Lord Ram is actually, after he, Ravana kidnaps Mother Sita, so Lord Ram, he's actually wandering in the forest, right? So in the in search of Mother Sita, right? So now, an ordinary person, he hears, okay, somebody has lost something and he is searching for it. So, but when we understand the philosophy, we understand that Lord Ram is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so what difference does it make in this connection? So the Supreme Personality of Godhead means, the God means what? He has everything under his control. So everything under his control, but then he's now lost his wife, and now he's in search of his wife. So and the first sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam actually it says, what is that? Janmadhyasya Anvaya Itaratas Charteshva Abhignya Swarat. So Abhignya, so that means he is all cognizant, he knows everything. Right? So there is nothing in the whole creation goes without the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. In fact, even before an act getting performed, he knows, this is what is going to happen, right? So that much of cognizance is there. Now he has lost Mother Sita and he doesn't know where Mother Sita is, right? So now when this is there, like how the Lord is actually performing his Leela, so that is when we understand the philosophy and then understand the pastime, so we will be able to go much deeper into the pastime, understanding all the capabilities of the Lord and understanding the material nature, understanding all the different aspects. So then we know the building blocks. Otherwise, we will relish the Leela of the Lord in form of, just like we are hearing so many stories or seeing some film and things like that. So in that also some scenes are happening, and some of them are little emotional scenes, and it actually pulls the heart of the people and things like that. So those aspects of the Leela will still be attractive to the newcomers. So, but then when we understand the philosophy of the all the basics, this one of Bhagavad Gita and things like that, then we will be able to go much deeper. That is why the Leela is a PhD subject, but easily available to new people also. So the Leela of the Lord caters to different people in different ways. So it is like when Krishna conscious narration is happening, it is not that everybody is getting the same thing. Everybody are getting different message. So it is just like when Krishna, he was entering the Mathura, and he was entering into the wrestling arena, where Kamsa had set it up. So many different people were there, and all of them were taking darshan of Krishna, but all of them were seeing something different only. So the shloka goes like this: Mallanam Ashner Rinam Naravarai Srinam Smaro Murtiman Gopanam Swajano Shatam Shitibujam Shasta Swapituro Shishivu Mrityurubojapate Viradavidusham Tatvam Param Yogina Vrishninam Paradevate Vidito Rangam Gata Sadraja. So this is the description of like when Krishna is entering into the wrestling arena, so what different people are actually seeing. So Mallana Mashner, so the wrestlers who were there, so they were seeing Krishna and Krishna was looking like a thunderbolt, means Vajra, you know. So as if he's the strongest person in the entire creation. So that's the vision the wrestlers were getting. And then Mallana Mashnes, Nrinam Naravarai. For the common people over there, so they were seeing, oh, this is the best of the human beings. No, all the perfect, no, eyes are perfect, the nose are perfect, like everything about him is perfect. No, he's the perfect, no person, no, that is there. And then Srinam Swaro Murtiman. So for the women, he was so attractive, just like Kamadev himself. And then Srinam Swaro Murtiman, Gopanam Swajano. So like for the Gopas who have come from Vrindavan to watch this wrestling match, for them, it was looking like, Swajana, Amara Gaon ka aadmi hai, So it's like, so our boy, so like that. So Gopanam Swajana. And then Swapitaro, like Shastam, like Asatam Shiti Gudam Shasta. So like all the miscreant kings who were doing all the mischief, joining hands with Kamsa. So for them, he was looking like the Shasta, the Punisher. At last, like somebody has come to punish us, like that. So they were fearing, somebody is like, we are doing so many wrong things, and somebody has come to punish us, right? So whenever I remember this, I remember one of the incident, like when we newly joined the ashram. So at that time, like we didn't had much of place in the temple, so we used to sleep in the temple hall, right? So that time, like myself and one of my another brahmachari friend, Karna Sindhu, so both of us we used to sleep in the temple hall, and suddenly one day, like we heard some sound of the this ankle bells, pile ka sound. And then we got terrified. So next day morning we were discussing, like, what is this and things like that. So then we concluded, see, philosophically we were thinking, like we are brahmacharis, so like we had so much of philosophical discussions. So see, this is the temple premises and temple hall where the Hariksetra mantra is constantly being chanted. So no ghost can come here. So it cannot be ghost. So then, the temple was presided over by Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So probably Subhadra Maya is like coming out and doing some pastimes and things like that. And her, this one is happening. Her, this one pile sound is coming and things like that. So, but then we were thinking, but tomorrow onwards we'll sleep outside somewhere. And then this question came, that if it is God, like if it is the Supreme Lord who is coming and doing pastime, so what is the problem? We are devotees, right? So we can be there inside. No, fir bhi dar hai. So then we understood. So we are not so pure at heart. So if the Lord comes, we don't have the sufficient guts to face the Lord. So then next day onwards we slept outside. So like Shasta, like Asatam Shiti Gujam, Shasta. So for the miscreant kings, Krishna was appearing like a punisher, And then what is that? Pitro, Swapitro Sishihu. So like for the Pitro, the two sets of parents were there. So one is Nanda Maharaj was there, and another is like Vasudeva and Devaki were there, right? So like for the parents, he was appearing like Sishu. Sishu means very tender, very this one. And even the common people who are looking at like, hey, this is the anyay chal raha, like these wrestlers are so heavy and well built, and these people are tender boys, like 11 years, 13 years old, like the very tender boys, how can they be sent for this wrestling match? And so the vision was like this. For the wrestlers, he was looking like the most powerful of all the personalities, and for the parents, he was looking like very tender, So and then Nutur Bojapater. For this one, for Bojapati is Kamsa, king of Boja. So and for him, Krishna was looking like Mrityu, So like finally my death is walking and coming, It's looking like so literally the death is coming now. And then Virat Avidusham. So for the less intelligent spiritualist or less advanced spiritualist, So Krishna, the tender boy, was looking like the Virata Roop. No? And in what angle Krishna can look like Virata Roop, we don't know. So you have to be like them to see that. So Virata Vidusham Tattvam Param Yogina. For the yogis who are meditating on the Paramatma within the heart, he was looking like the Paramatma. Paramatma has 4 hands and Krishna has 2 hands, but still he was looking like Paramatma, right? And then so then Vrishni Nam Paradeviteti Vijito. So so here for Vrishnis, for the residents of the Mathura, like for them, he was looking like he is our worshipable Lord. For them, nobody took the Gita course and established Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna has to just simply walk in and then they simply surrender. So naturally they are devotees and they're waiting for Krishna. And when somebody is loving a particular person, even if there is not sufficient introduction about that person is there, so when the person comes immediately they will understand, right? So Vrishni Nam Paradevati Vidito Rangam Gata Sa Agraja. Like Krishna along with his Agraja, along with his elder brother, so both of them they entered inside. So now we see the same personality, have different ways he is actually perceived by different people. The same holy name all of us chant, all of us perceive it different way. So very advanced devotees, they chant the same holy name with a different this one, and little less advanced devotees, they have different kinds of realizations. And Krishna reciprocates with everybody, according to their levels of realization. And in the same way, the pastimes of the Lord also have many different layers of understandings. So one is the Lord's internal mood and like what he is relishing, and another is what he's setting as an example for people in general. And even that, like many layers of understandings are there, right? So we will try to see like what is during the course of our reading, like whatever relevant aspects that comes, we will actually discuss. And one very important thing in approaching the holy name of the Lord or the pastimes of the Lord or anything to do with the Lord is that we cannot forcibly access this content. We cannot forcibly access the Lord. So we have to be there in the mood of service. So the Lord is the master and we are the servant. And in this connection, when we are hearing the pastimes of the Lord, so how are we acting in this mood of servant? So the narration of this is not different from the Lord. The sound vibration, which is describing the glories of the Lord, is not different from the Lord. And when we accept this as this sound vibration as the Lord Himself, and He is my master, and I am going to serve Him by giving a careful oral reception, by allowing the sound, this glories of the Lord to enter into my ears. So being in the mood of a servant. So when we approach it in that way, we will see the same pastimes, will have much more enriching effect, in us. So we'll try to approach this particular section in this particular mood. And the first shloka of this chapter, it says, Shri Shuka Uvacha Katvanga Dirga Bahuscha Ragus Tasmat Pritushravah Ajastato Maharajas Tasmat Dasharato Bhavat. So here we see Katvanga Raja was there, and then his son was Dirga Bahu, and then his son was Rahu, and Rahu's son was Aja, and Aja's son was Dasharatha. So that's how this one has come as Raghuvamshi, right? Any other name in this connection? Ikshvaku dynasty also is there. So this is coming down from this one. Any Lord Ram's name? Raghuvamshi is there. Any other name? Raghunath. Raghuvira, the great strong personality who's the descendant of Raghu. Right? So in that way, like we have different names of Lord Rams there. So the Lord's names, this is also a very important like philosophy. Sometimes it is mentioned that when the Lord appears, so everything that is in connection with Him becomes glorious. So now this Vamsha, the Raghu Vamsha, it has become glorious because of the appearance of Lord Ram, right? So it is not that whenever the Lord appears, wherever He appears, so everything that is in connection with Him, it becomes glorious actually. So now one time we had asked like to one senior devotee that how to remain humble, when we are preaching the message of Krishna consciousness. People naturally tend to offer respect, So then this devotee actually told that you see that sometimes in the forest, a tiger or a lion, it actually kills an elephant, And then there is a mosquito or like this one that is sitting on top of the tiger. So this one, when the tiger kills the elephant, some blood splashes on the mosquito also. And the mosquito thinks that I have killed the tiger. So in that way, so what is the power of our preaching? Now, how do we actually preach? The message of the preaching is like it happening because the Supreme Lord, he comes down as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He makes it very easily available. He makes it, the process of approaching Krishna is made very easily available. And then the great acharyas come, and by their prayers, they pray, each and every acharya, they pray that all the living entities may be delivered, right? And then finally, our Srila Prabhupada, he has given so many texts, and then he has tirelessly traveled and preached and things like that. And we just try to repeat the message of repeat the message of Krishna consciousness as given by the acharyas, and people become devotees. And when people become devotees, and we think that, you see, I'm so great. I have made so many people as devotees. Right? So one another instance, the same devotee, in connection with this, he told, there was one donkey that was there, and so that donkey was engaged for carrying the burden, carrying the load, And one time, what they did, there was a deity of the Lord which has to be transported from one village to another. So they loaded the deity on the donkey, and then the donkey was going, and everybody were offering obeisances because the deity is there at the top. And the donkey thought, people are offering obeisances to me, So then he was so much, he was in this one, he was having so much of pride. And then, the deity was delivered, and he was coming back. I have seen nobody is offering any respect to me. And then, he wanted to catch some attention of people. He started braying, he started singing in his own language. So then people started getting irritated and they threw stones. So it is like the glory of a preacher is that he is able to carry Krishna with him. And the Krishna is the one who is actually making the devotee glorious, right? So in the absence of Krishna, we are nothing. We become somewhat valuable because of the presence of Krishna. So this is how, this devotee was mentioning, this is how a preacher should remain humble. The respect is not coming to us. The respect is coming to Guru Parampara. Respect is coming to Krishna. So the respect is not coming to us. The moment we lose this connection with Krishna, we are as good as donkey. We don't have any respect for this one. Anybody would not respect, right? So all that respect that is coming, we should rightfully understand it belongs to the Supreme Lord. Now, as soon as all of us become devotees, we wear tilak and kantimala, and then little bit devotional attire and things like that. Naturally, people will see, oh, this is sadhu. People will give some kind of a respect. Immediately we should understand this respect doesn't belong to me. This respect belongs to the Lord. This respect belongs to the spiritual master. It has to be passed on. Left to myself, I don't have any of these qualifications. It is only the Lord who's actually making this wonderful. So this Raghuvamsha also, we can see that this whole Raghuvamsha became glorified because of the presence of the Lord, right? So then after that, the next shloka is, it tells, Tasyapi Bhagavan Esha Sakshat Brahmanyo Harihi Amshenamsha Chaturdhagat Putratvam Partita Shrutahi Rama Lakshmana Bharataha Shatrugna iti samnyani. So being prayed for by the demigods. So at one level the demigods were praying, and another level, who else were praying for the appearance of Lord? Even the parents were praying, they were not having children for a long time, and they were also praying, like Dasharatha Maharaja. So, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth himself, directly appeared in this expansion and expansion of expansion. Their holy names were Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrugna. These celebrated incarnations first appeared in 4 forms as the sons of Maharaj Dasharatha. Right? So now we see all these great personalities in connection with what we were discussing. All these great personalities, father of the Supreme Lord, the mother of the Supreme Lord, the other relatives of the Supreme Lord, they're all great devotees. That's how they are able to take part in the Leela of the Lord. Right? So what are the symptoms of these great devotees? One of the symptoms is they are very, very humble. So they don't come out and describe saying that, you see, like Lord has become my son. You know, the Lord has become my son. You see my goodness, how great I am, right? So all of you should surrender unto me. So they never tell like that. So they tell that no, they always are in the very, very humble disposition. They always feel that though the Lord has come, and appeared, they always feel that no, it is the Lord who is glorious. No, I am not sufficient. I'm not to be given that much of respect because like, I have not sufficiently served the Lord. No, they are very expert in finding fault in oneself. They like in that way, like amanina manade. So they always try to find fault in oneself and try to glorify the others, right? So that's one of the quality which attracts the heart of the Lord. So the Lord actually brings such people closer to them who actually tries to find fault in oneself and then try to appreciate others' glories, right? Such people are going to become the associates of the Lord. They're going to be close to the Lord, right? So these personalities, like the Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, all of them are Vishnu Tattvas. All of them are Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is expansion. So the Lord expands as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, right? So in this four quadruple expansions, who actually preside over in the Vaikuntha. So all four of them actually appear as Rama and Lakshmana, I know for sure. Lord Rama is the Vasudeva expansion of Vasudeva, and Lakshmana is expansion of Sankarshana. So Bharata and Shatrughna, they're like this, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So exact mapping I don't know. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this Rama Adimurti Shikala Niyamena Tishtan. So in the Brahma Samhita it is mentioned there is the Lord takes so many different incarnations, and starting with Lord Rama. So there are many incarnations of the Lord, and all these incarnations. How to understand all these incarnations? They are not different personalities. Just like you and me, we are sitting here. I am different and you are different, but the incarnations of the Lord are not different from one another. They are the same personality. So this in the Brahma Samhita, like Srila Prabhupada actually quotes that particular thing also. It's like different candles. No, it's like different candles that are there, and each candle is when it is lit, it has the same capacity and same power. In the same way, all of them are having the same capacity and same power. It's same Krishna who's coming in these different forms. So, but then why do we say like no, some form of the Lord is superior and some form of the Lord is not that superior? So it is like one of our sannyasis in ISKCON, His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj, he actually gave a very nice explanation for this particular thing. So he told that if you see a full moon and then if you see a partial moon, so is the partial moon is cut to pieces? No. So then, what is the difference between full moon and a partial moon? How do you explain this?
Attributes are only partially different.
So the moon is displaying only a portion of itself, right? So when the Lord decides to display only portion of himself, then that becomes a separate incarnation, right? So it is not that the Lord is reduced in power. It is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, but then he chooses to display only a certain set of qualities. So then it is considered to be a different incarnation, right? So when he chooses to, when the Supreme Lord chooses to display all of his qualities, that is very nicely analyzed by the Acharyas. All the qualities of the Lord is listed down, and how Krishna has all the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is the Purna Purushottam, right? So and then the other incarnations are, it is mentioned as Amsha Amshena, so like Amsha, so one portion of the Lord, when the Lord chooses to display a certain portion of himself, so then that is called as a different incarnation of the Lord, right? So in this way, like we see that these four illustrious personalities, Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, so they appeared in this family. And sometimes people ask, like, why there is so much of period of time no incarnation happens, and जब होता है तो like सब लोग एक साथ आते हैं. So it is not an effective distribution of resources. So the answer is that when the Lord comes, he actually needs an ecosystem to function. So what is that ecosystem? He functions with his, like when the Lord comes, he functions with his parts and parcels. When he comes, when he functions with his incarnations. The Lord, when he performs his pastimes, like for example, even in Krishna, Krishna Lila, when he performs his pastimes, so there is so many other elements to handle. So many demons that are there, so many different things that he has to do because he is coming to this material world and doing his pastimes. So if he just does his pastimes, people would say like, no, अरे आपका काम करके चला गया, हमारा काम क्या होता है? So like Lord has to do some work to set right certain things also. Dharma sthapan, he has to establish dharma, he has to destroy the miscreants, he has to do so many different things. So the Lord comes with his incarnations, so that his pastimes will not be disturbed. So here also we see that like he comes with all his assistants, and then he performs pastimes, and then before the Lord comes, he sends his devotees. The whole ecosystem is in such a way where there are devotees, the Lord actually appears. So that is the way like he actually appears, and he requires all these parts and parcels. Like just like if there is a minister comes or like chief minister comes or something like that. So like there is so many people, like all the commissioner, this person, that person, everybody comes. Like sometimes we have this also, like if we want some police protection, directly call the MLA, like all the police protection also will come. And so like that person agrees to come to the event, everybody will come. And chief minister comes, then that's all. Like we cannot enter inside also. So क्या बोलते हैं वो security को Z level security ना, कुछ तो it's so much of security comes, right? So in the same way, when the Lord comes, he comes with his entourage, all this, like all his close associates and all his incarnations, everybody actually comes and assists him in his pastimes. So that's how the Lord actually comes with all these personalities. And in connection with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also it is mentioned. So Panchatattva mantra we sing, right? So Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So it is mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord, he comes with all of them, the Panchatattva, and he relishes chanting the holy names, in their association, and he performs his kirtan and nritya in his association, and he also distributes this holy name to others in that association, right? So now, like if you want to approach the Lord actually is approached by, like in relation with all his devotees, in relation with all his associates. That's why we chant Panchatattva mantra, right? So we remember the Lord along with his associates. And then the next sloka it says, Tasyanu charitam rajan rishibhi tattva darshibihi shrutam hi varnitam bhuvi tasya sita patir munihi. O King Parikshit, the transcendental activities of Lord Ramachandra have been described by great saintly persons who have seen the truth, because you have heard again and again about Lord Ramachandra, the husband of Mother Sita. I shall describe these activities only in brief. So like they want to discuss about Krishna, and like they are discussing the activities of Lord Ramachandra in brief only, in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the next sloka is quite difficult to chant because it's quite a lengthy meter. So I'll just read the translation. This gives the whole summary. Whole of Ramayana is summarized in one shloka. So this says, to keep the promise of his father intact, Lord Ramachandra immediately gave up the position of king and, accompanied by his wife Mother Sita, wandered from one forest to another on his lotus feet, which were so delicate that they were unable to bear even the touch of Sita's palms. The Lord was also accompanied by Hanuman, the king of monkeys, or by another monkey, Sugriva, and by his own younger brother, Lord Lakshmana, both of whom gave him relief from the fatigue of wandering in the forest. Having cut off the nose of ears of Shurpanaka, thus disfiguring her, the Lord was separated from Mother Sita. He therefore became angry, moving his eyebrows and thus frightening the ocean, who allowed the Lord to construct a bridge to cross the ocean. Subsequently, the Lord entered the kingdom of Ravana to kill him like a fire devouring a forest. May that Supreme Lord Ramachandra give us all protection. So this is like, these kind of shlokas are also quite nice. So how in the examination, when you go to the exam, right? So you will study everything in detail, and then you will write few short notes, just to revise before the exam, not to take inside the exam. So shortly, we will start Bhakti Shastri course here. So like, so that time, it is very strict. We should not take any so examination chits. We should not take any chits inside the hall. So, anyways, just a joke. No, it's like this. The devotees also compose such slokas, which comprises all the activities of the Lord, and just by chanting these slokas, we remember all the activities of the Lord, right? So it is like very short snippet, and these slokas will help those people who have very intense meditation on the Lord. So when they chant these slokas, so they'll be able to remember, those pastimes. Okay, this pastime happened, and like that. That way they will relish this particular aspect. And so this one important feature, like in Srila Prabhupada's books, is like he repeats a lot of things, that is there. So sometimes people say like, no, Srila Prabhupada's books, the same thing is there, like, explanation of body and soul, and then like the three modes of nature and karma, and the basic things are there, and these same things are repeated, quite often. And here we see that, these great devotees, like what is it? Shukadev Goswami is not telling Parikshit Maharaj that you have heard so many times, like why to hear now? Dusra kuch naya information dekhenge, So they are not telling like that. So still they are describing those pastimes. Why this repetition is there? Why this repetition is there more often? So we see that do we not relish any repetition in our life? Is there anything that we repeat and we like also every time? Huh? Krishna's pastimes. So, prasadam, every time gulab jamun, still gulab jamun is nice, and paneer sabji and different things. So today is Ekadashi, we should not speak. Even in meditation, we should not think about the right? So, like prasadam is something that we repeatedly do and we relish. Anything else? Chanting the holy name. So you're all very nice. Repeatedly relishing. And no single day you think that, like, no, why I have accepted this. So that all happens with neophyte devotees like us. You're all advanced devotees. So after finishing 16 rounds, you feel like chanting another 16 rounds. Why did the 16 rounds got over? So, so sometimes in the scriptures, the acharyas actually use this analogy. This, if there are lover and beloved, and they hear about each other, they speak with each other and things like that, and every time they meet, and kya subject matter hota hai, pata nahi, like, they keep speaking gante, and how do they relish? The same kind of relishment is there in the pastimes of the Lord, in the description about the Lord, because a devotee becomes a lover of the Lord. When he starts loving the Lord, anything in connection with him, it becomes so interesting. Just like all of you like relishing chanting, because you love Krishna so much that you're able to relish the chanting very nicely. So in this way, like we see that like the subject matter of the purports of Srila Prabhupada also. In this connection, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, he gives a small story. He says that there was one maid servant was there in a teacher's house, so tuition teacher's house, and this maid servant, she had a son, and she thought that like she went to the teacher and she told that I have a son, and then he also wants to study all these things, and you're a good teacher, like you teach my son also. And with great difficulty, she managed to pay a little fees and things like that. And the son is admitted into the tuition, and trigonometry subject is going on. Now, in trigonometry, what happens? Let ABC be a triangle. Like this, it comes now. So this was going on, and this maid servant, like she wanted to see also like how her son is studying. She wanted to relish seeing like how her son is studying. And there, like continuously ABC, ABCD, all these things, like this thing is going on, and she became so angry on the teacher. She came and told, like, no, ये सब बचपन में सिखा दिया इसको. I have taught all these things in the childhood only for him, and I have, with great difficulty, I am paying fees, and still you are teaching ABCD. So like that. We may see if we are only seeing some basic repetition in the purports of Srila Prabhupada, that means No, we are like that maid servant. No, कुछ ज़्यादा दिमाग नहीं है. We are not able to understand the subject in deep. That's why we are not able to see the variety. That is there. Actually, the whole description of the whole book, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, all of it contains so much wonderful variety of the Supreme Lord. All of it is direct representation of the Supreme Lord, and the Lord is so amazing. He's so much. What is that? His qualities and his opulences, they actually increase at every moment. And he's such a dynamic person actually. So when we talk about this dynamic person, so like why it so happens that anything in this world we get, we get some nice opulence or nice car or nice house or whatever it is. So it relishes only for some period of time. After that, we want to do something else. We want to do something else, right? So the same kind of happiness. The change actually gives happiness in this world. But in Krishna consciousness, we say the same chanting or same, the pastimes of the Lord. We don't need to add some new masala and make some new release about Ramayana, abhi like new pastimes added. It's a mad release. No, we don't need all these things. The same pastime actually gives us the same relishment and same nourishment. So how does it happen? So like it happens because in this material world we need all change. And when we come to Krishna, Krishna is one person sufficient. He is so dynamic. Every moment he is changing in so many different ways. Anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipatam. The taste of Krishna is so dynamic and so amazing. Like it keeps changing and expanding at every moment. And we get greater and greater happiness at every moment, right? So like before even you get used to this happiness, you will get more happiness. And before even you get used to that happiness, you will get more happiness. So if we properly connect with Krishna, if we properly connect with the pastimes of the Lord, the holy names of the Lord. So that's an amazing aspect of the Lord. So that's why somebody who's become attached to the Lord, he doesn't need any change, because Lord itself is like so much dynamic personality, right? So now here we see that's why we don't need repetition. We even if repetition is there, we relish the repetition actually. So then after that it comes in the arena of the sacrifice performed by Vishwamitra, Lord Ramachandra, the king of Ayodhya, killed many demons, rakshasas, and uncivilized men who wandered at night in the mode of darkness, Nishachara. So may Lord Ramachandra, who killed these demons in the presence of Lakshmana, be kind enough to give us protection. Right? So this aspect is a very, very amazing aspect. So Lord Ramachandra was taken away by Vishwamitra, to his sacrifice. And during this period, he also taught many different different astra, shastra, and things like that. Many education actually Lord Ram and Lakshman got during this period. So who knows everything? Who's the master of all the knowledge? So they learned from Vishwamitra. So that makes it very interesting, So you see, like the Lord, when he comes inside this world, he doesn't come like a hero saying that humko sab kuch pata hai. Everybody come and surrender to me. No, he doesn't come like that. He comes, and then he submits himself to his devotee, and then he learns from his devotee, and that makes the Lord very attractive. There was different personalities who were all powerful. So like Hitler also was all powerful. So but why Hitler is loved by everybody, right? No. Why he's not loved by everybody? He had all the opulence, right? So he had whole Germany under control, and then he was the supreme dictator, and uska hukum se like sab kuch chalta hai, like everything was there. But why he is not loved by everybody?
He's not a humble, kind, or compassionate.
Yeah, he's not humble. The Supreme Lord, he's so humble, devotees. He wins the heart of his devotees by serving the devotees. That is the greatest aspect of the Lord. So the Lord comes like in front of his devotees, and then rather than asking I am your master, like you are my servant, please do this. So the Lord comes and asks, can I do this thing for you? And the devotee melts. No, uske baad kya bolenge? So like the Lord is so very amazing personality. He just melts the heart of the devotee by rendering service. So like we see that the Lord, what is the role the Lord performs in this material world? He is there as a Paramatma. And then it is mentioned Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kamam. Eka, so this one personality, Bahunam, to all the living entities, Yo Vidadati Kaman. Dadati means to give, Kaman means desires. So any desire that we have, who's fulfilling that desire? The Supreme Lord. right? So, like, what is the relationship between us and the Lord? Is it the Lord is our servant or we are his servant? So we are his servant, but then constantly he is noting down our desires, and he is actually fulfilling those desires. And then कभी fulfill नहीं हुआ तो भगवान का जाके गाली दे के आएंगे, क्या भगवान है, like, इतना कुछ pray किया, like, क्या फायदा हुआ, so इतना भी नहीं fulfill किया, ये माला वाला सब छोड़ देंगे. So, like, why should I chant the name of the Lord? Why should I attend the classes about the Lord, and if he cannot even fulfill one single desire of mine, तो हमारा servant है तो करना चाहिए ना. So like that. So this one is the attitude. The Lord actually keeps himself in such a way that he notes down the desires of the living entity, and then he fulfills the desire of the living entity. And actually, in fact, we are his servants, and we are supposed to ask the Lord, what is your desire, my Lord? I want to render service to you. I want to fulfill your desires. That is the mood of a servant, right? So we can learn how to be a nice servant. We can actually learn from the Lord. So in the spiritual world, there is a constant competition of service. The whole spiritual world, the composition is of service, right? So the Lord is trying to serve, and the devotees are trying to serve. The four Kumaras actually went to the Vaikuntha, and then when they were entering into the Vaikuntha, and they were like, the doorkeepers did not allow, and they told, like, no, you know, like who we are. We are a great devotee of the Lord. No, humko, like, no, you have not allowed inside, so you people will be cursed. No, you people will be cursed. No, and you will become demons. No, and things like that. Never a devotee will curse like that. A devotee, whatever happens to him, he will always wish well for another person. If he is cursing, something has happened to me, like because of that you will fall down. That means he is not a devotee at all. No, he is actually not actually a devotee. So, but then the Lord actually comes outside, and then he tells that, like, he actually tells these assistants of mine, they are my servants, they are my gatekeepers, and they have committed an offense towards you. You are brahmanas, you are worshipable. Like, you are guest at our home, and guest at my home, and you are not getting proper reception. So I beg forgiveness on their behalf. So here we see that doorkeepers, the Lord says, they are my limbs, they are my parts of my body, and they committed an offense towards you. It is as good as me committing offense. The Lord puts them as their, his own anga. And then these people, like, though they disrespected the Lord's servants entering into the Vaikuntha, so but still, like, the Lord says, like, you are a great Brahmana, you should be, like, I should have served you much better, like, I did not serve you properly. Lord could have told, like, no, who are you to come inside? No, who are you to challenge my servants? Like, first you go to the material world and get purified and come back. So he could have told like that. But the Lord is so amazing. And these four Kumaras are there, they're thinking, galti ho gaya. We offended Lord's servants. And now the Lord is telling, like, no, you are a great Brahmanas, like, no, I offended you. Ye to ulta ho raha hai. So, Lord, like, please don't speak like this, It is just, no, we are at fault. No, you don't speak like this. So they are in very awkward position. The Lord actually, attracts the hearts of the living entity like this. By chastisement, we will not be able to, attract the heart of the people. So, but then, if we actually render service, if we actually, have nice reciprocation with the devotees, then the devotees' hearts, becomes won over, right? So, and because devotees are, very dear to the Lord, so, by pleasing the devotees, we please the Supreme Lord also, right? So then we see that. So the next shloka is also some kind of a little summarization is there. O King, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra were wonderful, like those of a baby elephant. In the assembly where Mother Sita was to choose her husband, in the midst of the heroes of this world, he broke the bow belonging to Lord Shiva. This bow was so heavy that it was carried by 300 men. But Lord Ramachandra bent and strung it and broke it in the middle, just as a baby elephant breaks a stick of sugarcane. Thus the Lord achieved the hand of Mother Sita, who was equally as endowed with transcendental qualities of form, beauty, behavior, and age and nature. Indeed, she was the goddess of fortune who constantly rests on the chest of the Lord. While returning from Sita's home, after gaining her at the assembly of competitors, Lord Ramachandra met Parashuram. Although Parashuram was very proud, having rid the earth of royal order 21 times, he was defeated by the Lord, who appeared to be a Kshatriya on the royal order. So here we see that, like, the Swayamvar. So this is very nice, occasion, where the Lord is united with his consort. In fact, the whole of the spiritual world, all the devotees are doing their service for this particular reason. If the Lord can be united with His consort, so that is the whole thing. That is like the servant's mood is like this: the Lord can be united with His consort, and so these pastimes where the Lord and His Lakshmi Devi, like notice like Narayana and Lakshmi. So it is the Supreme Lord and His consort coming together. It offers great pleasure to the hearts of the devotees. And then the other pastimes. So so what is the pastime which is opposite to this? Where the Lord is separated. Ravana abducts Mother Sita. So those pastimes are little like what is it? It gives a lot of pain to the heart of the devotees. So then we see that carrying the next sloka, carrying out the order of his father, who was bound by a promise to his wife, Lord Ramachandra left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends, well-wishers, residents, and everything else, just as a liberated soul gives up his life and went to the forest with Sita. So, here we see that Lord Ramachandra, so even then, he was like when Mother Kaikeyi actually got this boon, and then like she requests that Lord Ram should be banished. So then like it was very very painful situation in the whole court, and due to the effect of the Leela potency of the Lord, so Mother Kaikeyi was completely covered up, and Lord Ram has to go to the forest, and everybody likes Lord Ram. So how will he go to the forest? And how all these pastimes will get enacted? So the Lord actually employs his Leela Shakti, and then this one actually happens, and Dasharath Maharaj is so much in pain, sending out this one Lord Ram. And then in fact, Dasharath Maharaj, he also mentions to Lord Ram, so you don't need to go. You see, like, no, you are the rightful heir, you are supposed to get the throne. No, you can even overrule me, and you can take over the kingdom. And then we know, like Lord Ram's, what is the name? One of the names of Lord Ram? Maryada Purushottam, right? And what is the Pitru Vakya Paripalan. So like that, so we see that Lord Ram has these wonderful qualities. So one of the positions, like in the Krishna Leela, it is not meant for following. It is meant God in his at his own power. He is there. He is performing his pastimes. But Lord Ramachandra, when he comes to perform the pastimes to set an example for the people in general. So if we imitate Krishna, we will go to hell. Because or we will get crushed under a mountain. So so we try to live Govardhan, we will get crushed. If we try to perform the pastimes of Krishna that happened in Vrindavan, so we will be like, first of all, society will throw us out, and then it is very, we cannot imitate the pastimes of Krishna, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his own glory. He is reciprocating with all his devotees, right? So that is the ultimate thing. That is the right thing. But for me, like, I am not Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have to behave in a certain way in this world. So the Lord Ram's pastimes have to be taught to the children very nicely. See, like Lord Ram did like this, like that. So it's like the Ramayana, the study of Ramayana gives the complete Vedic culture. It actually gives the complete Vedic culture, and also it gives the complete aspect of the devotion to the Lord, right? And when people are like a little more mature, so they can be introduced to Krishna Leela pastimes, and especially the confidential pastimes of Lord Krishna. So because that is something like God is God at his own level, so not for us to imitate or copy, So then we see that while wandering in the forest, where he accepted a life of hardship, carrying his invincible bow and arrows in his hand, Lord Ramachandra deformed Ravana's sister, who was polluted with lusty desires, by cutting off her nose. Did we miss something? Okay, so cutting off her nose and ears. He also killed her 14,000 Rakshasa friends headed by Khara, Trishira, and Dushana. So there are a lot of pastimes that are there in between. So when Lord Ram enters the forest, there is like in Tamil we used to call Guhan, So in this one, Guha, no? Like, and in I think some other names also there, no? Nishad Raj and Kevat also something else. Huh? Kevat is boatman. Okay, boatman, and he helps, and then this one, the Nishad Raj, Guha, he also helps Lord Ram, and Lord Ram is actually reciprocating very nicely with all these different people, and they meet with so many different things, and finally they come to this aspect of like disfiguring Ravana's sister, Shurpanaka. So some in one narration I heard, so this Shurpanaka, when she came, like she was so much captivated by Lord Ram's beauty, and she told that, you see, like, no, you're a beautiful man, no, I'm also a beautiful girl, no, we can actually wander in this forest very nicely. No, and then it is mentioned that she has the ability to change her form at her will, because she is a Rakshasi. So, like, but then, she forgot to change her form, and she is describing her beauty so much. So, but then, her eyes are like, it's like come out, and then, having a big belly and like very horrible looking face and things like that. And she's describing her beauty. You see, like how nice I am, how beautiful I am, and things like that. And Lord Ram is saying that, "Ye kya bol rahi hai?" And then he tells that, you see, like, no, I'm in the forest, I'm undergoing some tapasya and things like that. What happiness will you get, by associating with me? And then she tells, no, like, I want to associate with you. And then, Rama says, you see, like, I am I'm in the forest, and I've already taken this one. I'm already living with my wife, and like I've taken this vow that I will not marry anybody else. So my brother is there, Lakshmana, like, who's not there with his wife. So maybe you can approach him. And then when Lakshmana is approached, like Lakshmana is telling, you see that I am a servant, like I am servant of Lord Ram, and then Mother Sita. Like, no, if you become my wife, like, no, you'll have to be servant of Mother Sita. And then, Shurpanaka loses her temper, and then, she says, like, this Sita is coming in between, both of us. Like, so then, she actually wants to kill Sita. And at the time, Lord Ram actually gives a hint, and Lakshman comes and cuts off it says, like, nose and ears of this one, of her. So in that narration, the devotee was mentioning that anybody's nose and ears are cut, so they will look ugly. And already she was looking ugly, and his nose and ears are cut. Like, it's like ultimate punishment actually. And then she goes to like Ravana, and then she starts describing, like she's telling that okay, before that, like she was accompanied by her brothers, like 14,000 Rakshasa soldiers were there, Kara, Trishira, and Bhushana. And it is mentioned, like when Lord Rama, he entered into this one. So Lord Ram says to Lakshman that you protect Mother Sita, so I will go and handle this. And he will go inside, and it is mentioned the way in which he operates his bow and arrow. It's so fast, like nobody can see, like when he actually takes out the arrow, when he actually fixes it, and when he actually releases. People can only see there is a rain of arrows that is coming from everywhere, and all the Rakshasas are completely bewildered, like from where what is coming. Like everybody's head is getting cut, hand is getting cut, and all these things are happening. And within few moments, Lord Ram actually finishes the whole of the army, 14,000 soldiers. So it is more faster than the machine gun or any this one. So like the same description is there in Mahabharata also. We see Arjuna's this one expertise, and Drona's expertise, Bhishma's expertise, Karna's expertise. All of them. It is mentioned that when they were actually fighting with each other, like if Bhishma and Arjuna are fighting, or these two people, very powerful people, are fighting, it appears, the scene is described in Mahabharata that like they are dancing on top of their chariot. It's people are seeing that they are doing some Bharatanatyam or something like that. They're dancing on top of the chariot, and dono taraf se, like arrows are coming out. Continuous streams of arrows are coming out. So like that, it's quite difficult to imagine. Like when we used to think like bow and arrow, like इसमें like एक निकाल के एक तीर मारना होता है, like So but then the whole scene is different. There and the different people in the Mahabharata also, like when there is glorification or when there is appreciation given to different soldiers, So there is, they glorify about the lightness of hand. No, how light the hand is. Like, they're able to take the arrow, fix it, and release it. And nobody can even imagine, like, it just happens in fraction of seconds. So that's amazing, And that too, the bows and arrows are like so heavy. It's not ordinary bows and arrows. It's very, very heavy. So, and it's mentioned that sometimes these bows, like when they vibrate the string, they don't need to even fully take this one and release. Like just to vibrate. So that is sufficient for ordinary soldiers. They will all fall from their horses. So when they're fighting, there was one doubt was there. Like when Arjuna is fighting with somebody else, some ordinary soldier could have come and attacked. So first of all, the principle of Kshatriya codes of conduct is there. When they are engaged in a duel with somebody, another person cannot come and attack. So that's a rule. They follow. And some ordinary soldier may cut all these rules and come and attack. So that is not possible, because when they are releasing this one, the string is getting vibrated. That itself is sufficient. These people will be like thrown out. That's the power of these people's this one. They're really very powerful. So in one description, it was mentioned that what is that? These personalities, like Arjuna, Bhima, and all these personalities, they forget about Lord Ram. So Lord Ram is like very, very powerful. So like these personalities, their chest used to be like so thick. It used to be like our doors and all will not be sufficient for them to enter inside. So it will be so thick. And it is mentioned that when these fights and all happen, if like some ordinary weapons are released, they can actually take the arrow on their chest, they can take the arrow on their head, and still they are continue to fight. So it's like the arrow is not sufficiently powerful enough to even penetrate their body. That is how powerful they are. Like, they are literally like stones, like rock. So they are very, very powerful. So, and in connection with Lord Ram, so I'm just taking a tangent. So when this one, what is that? When Ravana heard that Rama killed Vali, and then many other instances happened which actually jolted Ravana. So because Vali was a person like who was, even Ravana could not win. So Vali had a boon. Anybody comes to fight with him, half of his strength will come to him. And Ravana had a very tough time with Vali. He actually kept Ravana in his hand, and he jumped all over the universe for 1 year. And Ravana was like so, like even hearing name of Vali, like he will get terrified. So and then so these great demons, they will establish pact. If they know that if somebody is capable to be won over, they will win over. Otherwise, what they will do, they will establish a pact. So hum dono dost hai. Like I will give you, give me protection. We will not fight with each other, right? So like that. But Lord Ram actually killed Bali. So that was a big this one jolt for Ravana. And then when he was trying to make his preparation, it is mentioned that he went to the Patal Loka to seek help from Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is one of his Purvaj in the Ashura dynasty. And when he asked Bali Maharaj that you please help and support me, so then Bali Maharaj showed, like, you see, there is a big mountain of gold is there. You try to move that gold. If you can move, then I'll help you. So then he goes and tries to move the golden mountain. So he's not able to move. Then he says, see, this is the Kundala of Hiranyakashipu, and this Rama is the same person who killed him. Forget about killing him, Like, you cannot even move the Kundala of Hiranyakashipu, So like that, it is, the description is given. So he gets a lot of signals, but then still, he was having some hope, the hope against the hope that he can win over the Lord Ram, So it's 11:40. So we can pause here. So we just haphazardly discussed a few pastimes of the Lord, but then we learned we discussed some nice lessons. So the Kartikeya was very expert in narration of pastimes, so you can hear more from him in some time. So as like what is that? Even if pastime narration is given, I'll speak only philosophy. I'm sorry to disappoint you all. So, anyways, like you would have heard a lot of times from Kartikeya, that's why for some change, I spoke something different. Anyways, so any questions or any reflections, anything that you liked in this session you want to share, you can. Your name, Prabhu?
Srinivas. The mother Sita, much capable compared with Ravana. Oh, that bow incident, he could not lift it. That's the one incident. Another incident where uh, Lakshmana, Mother Sita wants Lakshmana to go and protect Rama. She used the words which hurted Lakshmana very severely. In both cases, Mother Sita is enacting the human behavior. That's why we want to understand Prabhu in its special aspect.
Especially in this Ram Leela, so the Lord Ram and associates, they actually act as in the platform of the human beings. So they not very often actually they reveal their divine powers and things like that. Even when Lord Ram actually fought with Ravana, so he was using only the basic techniques only. So he was not using his what is that Sudarshan Chakra and things like that. No, then 1 minute everything would have got finished. So, but they were actually performing the pastimes of a human being. And one of the reason is also like external reason is Ravana could be killed only by a human being. You know? So like he had the boon that he cannot be killed by all other people. Like Hiranyakashipu only he got all the boons. But then human beings, he thought like breakfast, lunch, dinner, I take human beings. So like no, what these guys are going to kill me. So he thought like he didn't got any boon for human being. So that is also one of the external reasons. And another base like the Lord Ram's pastimes. So nobody can say like no, Ram can do it because he is God. Nobody can say that because Lord performed all the pastimes on the level of a human being. So like it's an ideal personality, ideal personality to emulate, like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Your name too?
Bhaktadas. Prabhu, in our limited knowledge, we are not able to understand why Lord Ram allowed Mother Sita, when she was pregnant, Lord Ram left her in forest. It's very difficult moment for the Mother Sita.
Yeah.
Why that happened?
Yeah. So, like, this is most difficult question to answer in Ramayana. So, one of the things that we were discussing this thing in our Brahmacharya ashram last week, and one of the things that is mentioned is that Sita herself wanted to leave also. So, because it was causing some kind of a disturbance to the reputation of Lord Ram, and one of the things that is there is for a leader, for a responsible person who is taking care of people in general. So if there is any like deficiency or if there is any black mark on his character, so it becomes a problem. He cannot inspire others to follow the dharma. If he tells like, no, you please follow the dharma, then people will ask, no, kya dharma? Like, no, in your home only, like, what is happening? So what kind of dharma you're asking me to follow? So that is a very difficult thing to like for a Kshatriya and for a leader, it's quite difficult to handle that particular thing. So, but then Mother Sita, she wanted to avoid this thing, like, and she herself wanted to also go, and like, so many other reasons are there. So this one reason, so which as devotees of the Lord, like, in the defense of Lord Ram, so he can actually present this particular thing that she herself wanted to actually part also.
But Mother Sita did Agni Pravesh, right? But
Yeah.
Sita proved herself by doing Agni Pravesh, right? So she came out clean, but still, why would the black mark come on her?
Yeah, so it should not come. It should not come. So, but then the people who speak, they can speak anything. So, like rumors doesn't have any logic. So in that way, like that was quite this one. And here we see in Ramayana, so like one about the other, everyone is looking for doing some sacrifice. So Mother Sita is looking for doing some sacrifice for Lord Ram. Bharata is trying to sacrifice, and every single character in Ramayana, if you see, it's an epitome of sacrifice and surrender. So you will see that nobody is looking for that like No, this one should be respected. No, or my opinion should be valued. So everybody is like so much centered around Lord Ram, and for his pleasure, everybody is like trying to take so many different ones. And in this connection, Lord Ram's, it is not even Lord Ram's pleasure. So it is to protect the image of Lord Ram. So like Mother Sita is doing this. So this is quite inconceivable for us to think of, such levels of sacrifice and this one. And definitely we should not, Prabhus should not go to the home and tell the wives that. No, if you tell that how you see how Mother Sita sacrificed everything, then the response will come, like how Lord Ram sacrificed. So it is like one very important thing is, in Krishna consciousness, we will learn so many wonderful lessons. And these lessons, like one of the things which is taught to me by my superiors in my initial days of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna conscious principles are not meant for instructing others. It is meant to improve yourself. So like when we learn something, so we should always see like what is my area of improvement. Then we can actually advance very nicely. And then seeing our improvement, others will improve. And sometimes we can tell, Prabhu, you can do like this, or something like that. So, but every time we keep telling that, no, you are doing this wrong, you are doing this wrong, you are doing this wrong, so then people will start keeping distance from us, So that is a very important thing. So, like, discussion of Lord Ram's pastime is very sensitively handled. No, it should be sensitively handled because all ideal characters are described, and we are also not ideal, and people around us are also not ideal. And then it can actually possibly create conflicts. So that's why we should see that it is for our personal improvement. Then it will not create conflict. But if we actually take it to see how others are functioning, then we will come completely disturbed.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for this wonderful class. We learned a lot from it. I like the point, like how different avatars are, given what kind of difference is there. That moon, waxing moon, and everything. And I also like
Mike.
one more thing.
So I like this point, how moon partially exhibits its attributes in the same way Lord chooses to exhibit his partial power and this thing. So that example I like a lot, and this ABC example of trigonometry. So that makes so much of sense actually. How everything has a deep meaning, and we are only able to see according to our level of understanding, we are only able to see the outline of it. So it is our mistake. It is not the scriptures or the acharyas who have written it. So then, Prabhu, I've got this doubt, like when Surpanaka, who is a demoness, and she has got mystic powers, and she can exhibit herself. Show her. Exhibit herself in a beautiful way also. Then why does she why these demons choose to be very terrific and horrifying?
That they're natural. They like it.
Oh, okay. So then, Prabhu, one more doubt is like here we are hearing all this Harikatha, then different avatars incarnation. When we go back to Golok Vrindavan, where we will get to listen all these things.
Dude, there constantly it is going on, no? Even the bees, they sing the glories of the Lord. Even the birds, they sing the glories of the Lord. Constantly the glorification of the Lord is happening. And here, we hear the glories and then we have to go and do some other work also. And there is some stoppage and all. There is no stoppage. And we don't need to sleep, we don't need to eat. Like we can continuously.
Maybe she's talking about hearing in IBC.
Hearing in
Direction, small this one. So like the summer vacation is starting. So many of us, like last year also 1 month vacation like that also. When we go to our native, our sadhana, the steadiness in the sadhana slightly dwindles and things like that. What are your suggestions for us so that our sadhana becomes steady and then sometimes we come with clean slate also.
everything washed off. So yeah, like how to actually remain Krishna conscious. So one of the things is like what is this Krishna consciousness is all about and how we are able to feel this Krishna consciousness. So it is just like a matchbox and a matchstick. When these two chemicals rub each other, there is a fire. And here we are able to be in Krishna consciousness because of association, right? So even like I'm able to do certain aspects, I'm able to remember the Lord and things like that. It's because of association of devotees. If you put me away from the ashram and for maybe some 1 month I have to serve in some place in Kashmir or some place or something like that where no devotees are there, my battery also will go down. So we should always remember that our power lies in the association, right? So the power lies in the association. We come together and we discuss Krishna Katha, and Krishna becomes so pleased. It is mentioned that where does Krishna lives, where does Krishna manifest himself? Yatra gayanti mat bhaktaha tatra tishtami narada. So in this Sanskrit word, mat bhaktaha means bhaktaha means like one devotee. Bhaktao means two devotees, and Bhaktaha means three or more. So at least we need to have three or more devotees chanting. So at least we should have some group of devotees association. If we are not able to get the association, you will be happy to find wherever native place. There also local temple will be there. You can actually go and associate there, and then you can actually be in touch with devotees. You can speak about the Lord, and you can actually chant the names of the Lord and read the scriptures and things like that and all. And when we are seeing the battery is going low, how do we see the battery is going low? So like our remembrance of the Lord will reduce, and then our mood of service will reduce, and our desire to enjoy this world will increase. So these are all some of the parameters, and then we will become irritated. Our mind will be like so much of storm of desires will be going around and things like that. So these are all signs that our sadhana is going weak. We are not able to have the control of the mind and things like that. So then we should reapply ourselves. And this is possible only in association. By our own effort, we will be able to bring about a little bit of Krishna conscious fire. But if we connect with some devotees, immediately there is so much of fire of Krishna consciousness actually comes. So this is the only problem. What is that? Sometimes devotees have a little bit disagreement or some kind of a little difficulty with the association of devotees. But then the devotee association is the means to intensify our Krishna consciousness. It's like in house, like if cooker doesn't work, we repair and use the cooker. We don't throw the cooker. So like that, if association doesn't work, we have to repair the association and still have the association. So like that, we should see that we should have at least few friends in Krishna consciousness, whom we can discuss nicely, Krishna Katha with, and when we are able to do that, our spark of Krishna consciousness again, comes up. So that's that's the root. Association is the root. So somehow or other we should get association in some way or other. Yes.
Prabhuji, Hiranyakashipu only came back as Ravana. So when he came back as Ravana, why was not able to lift his earrings? Because why was he reduced so much in his?
It's like if you ride a bullet bike. I don't know whether you can ride or not. If you can ride, you can go with 80 kilometer speed. So or maybe 100, 120 also you can go. So but you are the same person if you are given a cycle, and if you are going at 5 kilometer speed. If somebody tells, Prabhu, you yourself were going in 120 kilometer speed, why are you going in 5 kilometer speed now? What is your answer? Vehicle changed. Yantra Rudani Maya. So the mission that is provided to him at that point in time is not that powerful.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for the wonderful class. Two analogies that I really liked. One was the ABC trigonometry example, especially with respect to Prabhupada's books. So that was wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you for that example. The second analogy was also of the moon. It helped answer a very long-standing question that I had of qualities versus the Lord is full. And we often talk about different avatars in terms of percentage of qualities, yet we say use the candle analogy. So this really helped clarify that seeming contradiction. Prabhuji, with respect to that, I had one question. The moon analogy that you gave, how do we understand that within respect to demigods like Shiva and Rama, who are also possessing some X percentage of the qualities of Krishna?
Yeah. So the Devatas are very, very confidential associates of the Lord, and they manage the universal affairs of the Lord. And in that, the percentage of qualities is compared only with Brahma and Lord Shiva. Right? So Lord Shiva is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has almost all the powers as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's in fact called as the Ishvara. He doesn't belong to the category of Jiva. Like now all of us are like the individual living entities, the Jivas. But then Lord Shiva belongs to the category of Ishvara. No? He is not a living entity like us. No? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in a limited feature. So like Lord Shiva can do everything that Lord Vishnu can do within this jurisdiction of the material world. You know. So, but then Lord Vishnu has the jurisdiction in the spiritual world also. Lord Shiva doesn't have an existence in the spiritual world. So Lord Vishnu, he transforms into Lord Shiva just to manage the material affairs. You know. So in that way, if we see like the qualities that is mentioned by like Lord Brahma himself in the Brahma Samhita, he says, Shiram yata dadi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nahitata pratahasti heto Shambhutam apitata samupayati karya govidam adi purusham tam. So in this he says that Shiram, like milk, it transforms into curd. No, curd is almost as good as milk only. So I have a little bit of difficulty in taking milk. So then the doctor says like, you should take dairy product, either ghee or curd, something you should take, So then you will get that this one. So it's also like a dairy only, but then it is different also, So Lord Shiva is different because he is purposefully like, his manifestation of Lord Shiva is specifically for interaction with the material world. So anything to do with the material world, so Lord Vishnu doesn't take care. He does through Lord Shiva actually. And Mother Parvati is the sum total of all the material energy. And the same counterparts is Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, right? So that's the counterpart. So like the material reflection is the Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. So these positions are not exchangeable kind of positions. No, they are eternal positions. No, they are almost as good as the Supreme Personality of God. No? So in that connection, like it is Lord who has transformed into Lord Shiva, but then he will never exhibit certain set of qualities. So, but other avatars, they can exhibit, the other set of qualities if the Lord wishes. But in this particular expansion, so it is, Lord Shiva cannot exhibit certain set of qualities which Vishnu or Krishna exhibits, like that. And Lord Brahma is a living entity like us. So Lord Brahma represents the maximum quality that you can actually achieve as a living entity. So as a living entity, I can go to a particular level of the quality. So that particular, this one is mentioned. So out of the 64 different qualities, so 50 qualities can be present in Lord Brahma. And that is the same set of qualities we can also possess in minute quantities. So Lord Brahma is the best of the human being. That's the maximum benchmark that we can go up to. So beyond that, Lord Shiva, we can never become Lord Shiva. So it is not a post. Lord Brahma is a post, Indra is a post, all the different, this ones, they are posts. So if you perform like the 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas, you can apply for the post of Indra. And if you perform the Varnashrama Dharma strictly following for 1000 lifetimes, you get to apply for the post of Brahma, right? So, but Lord Shiva, no, forget it. It's like a unique position. Nobody can apply for that post. Lord Shiva is supreme, And then this one also, like Mother Parvati, like that is also, it's undisputable positions. Yeah. Yes. Mic is on. So it's already 12 o'clock. What should we do?
Last question.
Last question. Okay, last question.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for the lecture class. I have a question regarding the incident of Shurpanakha. So, what is the takeaway that we take from that incident? Why am I? Because apparently, this pastime and Kupcha's pastime in Krishna Lila, they both go with their own mood, right? But both were treated differently. So,
yeah, so this is one thing. Sometimes people say like, no, I relish chanting the holy names. So in the same way, she wanted to relish Lord Rama's personal association, right? So it is Ram consciousness. She wanted to have Lord Ram in her life. So that's a nice thing, right? Krishna consciousness. So, but then why it is wrong? Because she was not trying to approach the Lord in the mood of service. She wanted to exploit the Lord. No, she wanted to exploit the Lord. So that is why there is shlokas like this also is there. So Bahu Janma Kari Yadi Shravana Kirtan Tabuna Paive Shri Krishna Charan. No. So that means even if a person continuously chants, constantly chants the names of the Lord, still he cannot achieve the lotus feet of the Lord. If he is not having the mood of service, or if he is offending the devotees, still he can actually chant the names of the Lord. So in this connection, there is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So when he is going to like meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is a Ram Bhakta he actually meets in the way. Like this Ram Bhakta is constantly chanting the names of the Lord. No, his mouth is constantly chanting the names of the Lord. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, like he thought, okay, like I got a very nice devotee companion. So he actually went with him. And when he went in front of Lord Chaitanya did not even look at the other person's face. So then, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami asked, no, this person is a devotee. He constantly chants your names. Like, no, why are you not, reciprocating with him? So then, Lord Chaitanya told, see, he constantly chants the names, but then he has a Mayavad conception. He actually thinks that the living entity and this Lord is one and the same. Or in the case where if we offend devotees, or if any other aspects of Krishna consciousness we are not taking care of, and then we have the attraction towards the Lord, then that attraction is not very nice. It is like attraction of Shurpanaka towards Lord Ram. It's not that only the devotees of the Lord are attracted to the Lord. Sometimes the demons are also attracted to the Lord. So that's how when some attraction to the Lord comes, we should see ourselves as ourselves as demons and others as devotees. So that so that's how we can remain humble. And the moment you become humble, the Lord will become pleased and He will give more blessings. So like that, the Shurpanaka's fault is that though she was Krishna conscious, but then she wanted to exploit Lord Ram. So she didn't want to serve Lord Ram. Like that. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, few announcements. So, today's Prashadam is sponsored by Murlimon Prabhu for his daughter's birthday, Bhavya Shri, birthday on 29th March, and Senthil Prabhu for his son Vihan's birthday. Let's all thank them by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. I carried that. No, I always felt that the Leelas of the Lord is the base, then philosophy next. Thank you for correcting me. The philosophy is the base, and Leelas of the Lord is the PhD. And then the wonderful point which I liked is the internal mood that when we have the service mood to approach Srimad Bhagavatam, when we approach the holy name, they will reveal themselves. We will get the same vision what the Lord, the author wants to see us and things like that. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And I really like the point. We should become expert in finding fault in self and glorify others. In material world, we do the other way. We become expert in finding fault in others and glorify ourselves. But actually, as a devotee, we should find expert in finding fault in oneself. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for understanding. As usual, everybody released the ABCD. This one analogy of the main. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, has taken us each and every philosophy very detailedly explained us, and so that we get our base very clear, so that we can release the leelas of the Lord again and again very nicely. Let's all thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. I have two more announcements. Okay. So there is a wonderful course is going to start, in-depth, detailed study of Bhagavad Gita verse by verse. It's called Bhakti Shastri. And what do you think minimum qualification?
16 rounds of chanting.
16 rounds of chanting and 4 regulative principles. Anyone who does that are eligible to take up the Bhakti Shastri, in-depth, thorough, detailed study of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. Ishopanishad, Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion. So along with Bhagavad Gita. So such an amazing course. Many devotees are benefited. Please utilize the opportunity. It is going to start here in this center on weekdays.
Yes, weekdays. Only one.
So it's total 180 hours of course it is, and if we devote 2 hours a week, then we can finish in 2 years. So and it will have, you will find a proper relishment of finishing all the books in a systematic way. Like it's a nice progressive this one of study of all the books, and your basic philosophy and the foundation becomes very very strong. And many times like we represent the Sanatan Dharma, and then we are members of Sanatan Dharma. And then if somebody asks like, what is your scripture? We say Gita. And do you know Gita? No, ठीक है, like no, कुछ कुछ इधर-उधर. So like, we can have a complete fulfillment of understanding Gita, and the other essential books that are there. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so next week, Sunday free session is given by His Grace Achyut Arjuna Saka Prabhuji. We are going to really fortunate to hear from him. So please don't miss this Sunday feast. It's like devotees coming together, 120 plus people coming together and relishing Katha is not going to happen regularly. Please come here and take yourself charge. As Kartiki Prabhu last week mentioned, even the Bhakti Riksha also mandatory, and this is also mandatory. That is also some vitamins will get there also, and some vitamins will get in this class also. So please don't miss these vitamins. Thank you so much. Now we'll go for Aarti, and follow with Prashadam. After Aarti, means during Aarti, let's all chant for the pleasure, dance for the pleasure of the Lord. Very nice, okay? So that we can release the Prashadam.
I'll take good orders. Laptop लेके जाना. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Ashok Shri Shri Suvan Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Guru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Ram Kunda Radha Krishna Brajagoni Ganga Ki Jai Mayapur Navati Ki Jai Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Ram Ki Jai Gandamai Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Sarve Gaur Bhakta Ki Jai all the Vishwa Sundar devotees all the Vishwa Sundar devotees all the Vishwa Sundar devotees all the Vishwa Shri Shri Guru Gauranga all the Vishwa Shri Prabhupada Jai Shri Prabhupada